us, we try to keep the pathway looking as much like Alaska as we can and not like a dump yard or whatever. So, and that also means new people like me will have to go clean it up later. So feel free to give it to me and I'll hold on to it. I'd much rather do that. Also, if you guys could turn off your cell phones, it kind of ruins the moment when we're looking at the glacier and somebody gets a text. You probably won't get service anyway, but just in case of that. Also, be careful when you're walking. There's a lot of cool things to take pictures of, but please make sure you stop and take your picture. You don't really want a picture of the tree as you get into it, right? So that wouldn't make a very good picture. Also, make sure that you don't eat anything out there. There are a lot of berries. They may look tempting. I assure you they're not. You can feed them to us if we're still alive in 10 minutes. Go ahead and think about it. But no, there are some poisonous things out there, so please don't eat anything. Also, this is called the bear path for a reason. It was originally created by a bear, and we kind of added on to it, which means we might see a bear. But that's okay, because there's a lot of us, and I'm pretty sure the orange vests will scare them off. But just make sure you stick together. Don't run away. That's the worst thing you could do. If you run away, it kind of like becomes a game. So just stay together, wave your arms, and yell, "Go away, bear!" The bear will go away. No worries. Okay? And then more dangerous than any of that, though, is the boots that you're wearing. Even though they're very fashionable, they don't have very much ankle support. So you could roll your ankles, or, just watch out for the rocks and the sticks and stuff. Just be careful where you're stepping, okay? You guys ready to go canoeing?
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead and follow Benji down
Yeah, from that side over there.
more coffee than you.
There are a lot of bloody mosquitoes, so if this is fewer mosquitoes than 2 weeks ago, this would have been terrible. And the mosquitoes here are huge. And we're all walking the trail. Mom and Dad are going to hike.
We get into a forest that still has some cottonwood in it, but no big spruce like there are here. Much more alders in there. This is younger land that we're moving on to again. Yeah, the nutrients aren't quite as good. You'll just start to see some of those spruce growing up in there. Once you guys have those photos, you can follow me on down.
This part is here.
Yeah.
No, this part is here. You just go ahead and you take.
Don't move, Mom.
You're going to take a photo?
This is Ma and Mom, all decked out. Mom, Dad, those are the canoes we're going on. Oh good, it's got a motor. Excellent, so we don't really have to paddle. This is the water. It looks a bit murky, but that's because it's mostly, they were saying it's glacier silt. And that is the glacier that we're going towards. Cool. Okay. Them and the glaciers. Yeah. Okay. See the red thing on top? So, yeah, just click and then click again.
Today, we're going to be doing some paddling, and you'll notice that some of these rocks do have
I just like to make sure that the wind's not going to come and sort of knock us around, so if we have a bit of forward momentum. And on a day like today, it's not that big. No, it's nothing to do with the motor itself. It's just sort of safety on our part.
You know how high those mountains are?
Yeah, the one on the left-hand side there is right around 2,100 feet. The one on the right is closer to about 1,800 feet. And then the one sort of back left there is...
No, it's not.
When he eats it, suddenly stopped.
Yeah,
Like it's too cold like that.
no, take mine. No. I got my thing.
A rock that the glacier just randomly drops as it's receding. But this particular glacially rabbit, just because of where it's located in the middle of the water here, makes a perfect wind that all sort of acted to wash away those chicks. It's a little bit sad, I know. We've thought about sort of trying to save the chicks, trying to move the eggs, something. In the end, we just decided it's natural selection, and if she's dumb enough to keep on making the nest there, probably aren't the genes that you want passed on. Yeah, you can see the nest is still there now, but nothing else. We have a couple different kinds of birds nesting up here. The mew gulls, which is what Agnes is, they make their nests in the rockier areas. Then we have Arctic terns, which we'll see up ahead. Those just make little depressions in the silt. No sticks, nothing, just little depressions in the silt. The only way that you can really even know that there's a nest there is because they start to dive bomb your head. And then we have herring gulls up there as well that nest sort of where those small bushes are in there. That's the habitat they like to nest in. That's interesting to see those small bushes as well. It just goes to point out that forest succession again. There are larger alders and willows on our right hand.
We're getting really close now. You can almost see that. It's here. It's so close now.
The
It is over now.
growlers on the bus there, right?
Yep.
Same thing as icebergs, but freshwater. This is one of our growlers here. You can see another large one off to the right-hand side. Another one floating, smaller one floating a little bit further back on the right there. But they do follow the same basic principles as an iceberg. That whole saying about just the tip of the iceberg. So we're only seeing about 1/10 of this right now. About 1/10 is above the water, 10%, and the other 90% of that is beneath the water. And really, just this section above the water here is probably about the size of a couple of the buses that we drove up in, right? So you can imagine how much more ice there is underneath the surface of the water there. You can see how it's undercut as well. Again, that's those katabatic winds cutting in that side there. As it's rotated, that's no longer the direction that the katabatics would come. The katabatics come straight off the glacier. You can see it's a massive chunk of ice. That calved off the glacier. It was about 3 weeks ago now, 4 weeks ago now. It's actually up